Today we have an announcement of the COVID inquiry. That is important that it take place. We said before the election, and I've said since, given the enormous dislocation, the stress, of course, loss of life, the economic impact of the pandemic, it is appropriate that when we reached a certain period that we would have an inquiry. It's a commitment I made before the election.
Are you going to call a Royal Commission into this so Australians know exactly what was going on?
I've said consistently that once we were through the pandemic, it would be inconceivable, regardless of who won the election in May, that you would not have a proper examination of the circumstances around the handling of the pandemic. Things that we've been doing is ticking off all those commitments that we have made. We need to examine what went right, what could be done better with a focus on the future, because the health experts and the science tells us that this pandemic may well be, indeed is not likely to be, the last one that occurs. The terms of reference for the inquiry include key health measures including COVID-19 vaccinations and treatments, key medical supplies such as personal protective equipment and public health messaging, broader health supports for those impacted by COVID-19 and lockdowns, including mental health and suicide prevention supports, and access to screening and other preventative health measures, financial support for individuals, the support for industry and business, assistance for Australians abroad, including assisted return to Australia, and governance and national governance mechanisms, including the National Cabinet and the way that it functioned, and the Australian Health Protection Principal Committee. An independent panel has been appointed to conduct the inquiry, and I'm very pleased, and I want to thank the three individuals who've agreed to be part of this inquiry. They have vast experience in public health, in government and economic expertise, and Minister Butler will go through some of the credentials which are there. The panel members are Ms Robin Cruck, AO, an outstanding public servant, a former head of departments including health in New South Wales, federal departments, someone who has great expertise at both the Commonwealth and the state level of the way that the public sector and the public service operates. Professor Catherine Bennett, an epidemiologist, an expert who will bring in that health expertise, and Dr Angela Jackson, someone who has an expertise in economics, someone well credentialed to be able to provide input to that.
Now, unquestionably, is the time to learn the lessons of our response to this pandemic, learn what we did well and make sure we build that into the response of future pandemics.